Hey, it's IdkWhatsRc and this is my very first money making guide for Runescape 07, and in this video I'll show you 8 different collecting methods to make a lot of cash very fast. Okay, so the very first method of this video is about potato cactus. So there is no really requirements to do it, but I really recommend to have a decent defense level, maybe in the 50s, and if you only have that, you can make up to 325k GP per hour, which is really good. And if you have completed the quest Fairy Tales Part 2 and are able to use fairy rings, then you can make up to 390k GP per hour, which is really good. Okay, so those are the different items you will need for this method. So first of all, coins to buy Shanty Pass, then a little bit of food in case of an emergency. Also bring anti-poison potion, very important, and a rope to enter the lair. And finally, energy potion if you don't want to walk and do faster trips. For the equipment, you will first want to have an amulet of glory or a ring of dueling to bank, or if you have completed fairy tales, then you want to have a Drummond staff. And finally, don't forget to bring some armors because the culprit can hit you and you may potentially die if you don't bring any armor. Okay, so this is the place where you will be collecting the potato cactus. So it's in near Alcarid, and if you haven't done fairy tales, then simply use an amulet of glory to Alcarid or use a ring of dueling to teleport to the duel arena, then run south. If you have completed the quest Fairy Tales Part 2 and you want to use fairy rings, I recommend to teleport to Edgeville, bank there, then go to the fairy ring to the east and then use the code BIQ to be teleported right next to the Culprit Hive. And once you're there, you want to run southwest to the spot where the potato cactus respawns. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is to buy a Shanty Pass for 5 coins. Then you want to enter the desert and run west to the Culprit Hive. Once you're there, you want to use your rope on the entrance, enter the hive, and then run southwest to this spot. So it's not like the live games, so the live RuneScape games. The little rocks do not protect you from, well, actually they don't block the monster, so you can still be attacked. There aren't that many safe spots, so if you have protect from melee, it's quite useful. Or you can stand at this spot, it will block all the monster to the south, or go a little bit south and block the monster to the north. When your inventory is full, simply teleport to Alcarid and bank. Okay, so now let's talk about the second method, Blue Dragon Skill. So with this method you can make really awesome cash. 540k GP per hour if you have level 17 agility, which is quite high, but it's really worth it. And if you haven't that high agility, then all you need is 5 agility with decent defense and you can make yourself 337k GP per hour. Also, don't forget that you can boost your agility level with summer pies, like I will soon explain. So yeah, for the inventory, what you want is first of all a dusty key. If you don't have the level 70 agility, you can also bring summer pie like I've just mentioned. For the runes, you want to have water and law runes to be able to cast Falador teleport, or you can use teletaps too, a safety food because you might be attacked by blue dragons, and finally energy potions. For the equipment, you first want to have an anti-dragon shield, very important to have one, otherwise you will really get killed easily. You also want to bring armor and an air staff. Getting to the place where the blue dragon skills are is kinda hard. First of all, you want to teleport to Falador, then run west and use the little shortcut, then continue northwest to reach the Towerly dungeon entrance. Once you're inside, there are 2 ways to go to the blue dragon spot. The first one is to simply use the level 70 agility shortcut, and it's very fast. Or if you don't have this agility level, then you need to run north and east and south and north and then enter the lair, which is quite more long, and you also need to bring a dusty key to enter the lair. Okay, so like I've just mentioned, you want to run west from Falador, use the little shortcut. You only need level 5 to do that. Then you want to continue northwest and enter the dungeon entrance to go to the Towerly dungeon. If you have level 70 or 65 with summer pie, you can use this shortcut. Otherwise, if you don't, like me, then you need to run all the way around It takes quite a long time, but it's worth it anyway. Once you're in the blue dragon spot, you want to pick up all the skills. They spawn very fast, especially if you're in like world 1 or 2. And you might be attacked by dragons. Usually it's not really a big deal. There are tons of safe spots at this spot, but yeah. And once you're done, you simply teleport to Falador and bank. Okay, so now let's talk about the third method, which is collecting Mort Fungus. So with the best requirements, so having level 50 construction, I've completed the quest Desert Treasure, so you can have in your personal own house portal and an altar. Then with that method, you can make up to 520k GP per hour, which is really good. And if you haven't, the only thing you need is Nature Spirit quest, and you can make up to 325k GP per hour. So those are the different items you will need. So if you don't have your own altar in your personal own house, then you will need to use prayer potion. I know they are really expensive, but you still make good profit. And if you're using the personal own house method, then you want to bring law and dust runes to teleport to your house. For the equipment, the only thing you really need is a civil cyclet, and it needs to be blessed. The place where you will be collecting Mort Fungus is in Mauritania, and the fastest way to get there is to use the Carriel teleport from Desert Treasure. But if you haven't done the quest or you're not in the Ancient Spellbook, then you want to teleport to Zamorak, run northeast, enter the little temple dungeon, and then you simply want to run east, the Cactus Bank, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so from the Cactus Bank you want to run west and then south to enter the Mauritania swamp. And it's very important that you follow where I'm going, because this is by far the best spot right there, where there are 3 other logs. Very important. Now stand at this spot and use the operate option of your civil cyclet to turn the log into Mort Fungus in a way. Click on the log and you get Mort Fungus. When your inventory is full, you want to run east to the Cactus Bank, and doing that your prayer points will lower, so that's why you need to have prayer potions. The next method in this video is about collecting ash. So yeah, it might sound newbie, but you can still make 250k GP per hour, which is really good, especially because there is absolutely no requirements to use this method. Another great thing about this method is that you need absolutely nothing, so no items at all. And the place where you will be collecting the ashes, there are many places. You want to go to a place where people train fire making. A good example is Zamorak. It's probably the most popular place for fire makers. You can also go to Edgeville. It's also a good spot. Okay, so first of all, you want to opt to different worlds until you find one where there is someone training fire making. For example, in this world, in Zamorak. So once this is done, it's pretty much over. All you need to do is to collect the different ashes until your inventory is full, and then you simply bank it. The bank is nearby. So it's really easy and there is absolutely no requirements, and you can collect about 1000 ashes per hour if there is someone training fire making. The next method of this video is about collecting sand, so bucket of sand. You can make up to 300k GP per hour with this method, and it's really fast. And the only thing you need is level 50 construction and move your personal own house in Yanil, or if you don't have the construction level, you can still use it, but you will only make 200k GP per hour. A little problem with this method is that you need to get the buckets first. You can buy them from other players. It's quite expensive, but it's worth it anyway, and the prices there assume that you buy the buckets from other players. Okay, so this is how your inventory should look if you're using the personal own house method. So first of all, tons of buckets and air and law rooms to be able to cast teleport to house. So you also need the earth staff, and finally a ring of dueling because you will be banking in Castle Wars. So this is the place where you will be collecting the sand. So it's in Yanil. You teleport to your house and it's right next to the portal. And if you haven't your house in Yanil, then you want to run east to the bank, then run west to collect the sand, which is quite more long. Okay, so from the Castle Wars bank, you want to teleport to your house to Yanil, then you want to exit the portal, go to the sand pit, and simply fill all your buckets with sands. So it's really fast, you only need to click once and it's all done. Then you want to use your Ring of Dueling to teleport to Castle Wars and repeat. After that, the next method in this video is collecting red spider eggs. With this method you can make up to 300k GP per hour and there is absolutely no requirements to use it. Okay, so this is how your inventory should look. So first of all, a safety teleport in case you're PK'd. To be honest, it's not really useful, but if you're scared for a few first trips, you can bring one. And you also want to have an Amulet of Glory. Don't forget that you won't lose your Amulet of Glory if you don't attack the player back. So you still keep 3 items, so make sure that you don't get skulled. And even if you get skulled, don't forget to pray Protect item, so you will save your Amulet of Glory. The place where you'll be collecting the eggs is in the Edgeville dungeon, and the fastest way to get there is an Amulet of Glory, run south and enter the dungeon. Then in the dungeon you want to run northeast to the red spider spot. Don't forget that this place is in the wilderness. It's not very far in the wilderness and there aren't many pickers at all, but I just want to tell you guys that you might be PK'd, but it's really rare. Okay, so from the Edgeville bank you want to run south and enter the dungeon. Once you're there you want to run north, then east and enter the wilderness, like I'm doing right now. So enter the gate and there is 6 different egg spawns I will show there. So 3 in the northeast corner and 3 others in the southwest corner. So yeah, you simply wait until they respawn. Usually it's very fast, especially if you're in World 1 or 2, and that's pretty much it. So when your inventory is full, you simply use your Amulet of Glory, teleport back to the bank, and repeat. The next method in this video is collecting white berries. So once again, you need absolutely nothing, but I really recommend to have a decent defense level, maybe in the 50s, and with this method you can make up to 250k GP per hour. So those are the different items you will need. So first of all, energy potion, they are not really needed, but I really recommend to bring them, and safety food because you might be attacked by red dragons, but there is ways to avoid them. And for the equipment you want to bring a slash weapon, for example a bronze hatchet, and finally a anti-dragon shield. Don't forget that this method will be in the wilderness, very deep, so don't bring anything you might lose. So yeah, this is the spot where you'll be collecting the white berries, and the nearest bank is in the mage arena, and inside the mage arena it's not PvP, so you cannot get killed inside, so next to the bank, but in your way to the white berries and while collecting them you might be PK'd. And in the red dragon island where you'll be collecting them, there are little red dragons that might attack you, but usually it's not really a big problem. And to get there the very first time you can use the Ardoon teleport, the lever, or you can simply run north from Edgeville. Okay, so first of all, once you're inside the mage arena bank, you want to exit it by using the lever. Then you want to run east, then south, and go to the red dragon island where you'll be collecting white berries. So enter the fence right there. There aren't many red dragons, so in this clip I wasn't attacked at all. And there are 2 white berry spots. You only need to use 1, to be honest. In World 1 it spawns very fast, and when you have a full inventory you simply want to run north then west, and you want to enter the bank once again, and once inside the bank you're safe. And that's pretty much it. And finally, the last method of this video is to collect wine of Zamorak, which are used to make ranging potions. So the amount of cash you can make per hour is not that great, 150k, but the great thing is that you get magic experience, 7k per hour. And you also need at least level 33 in magic to use this method. Those are the different items you'll need. So first of all, a lot of law runes, because you will be casting Tilly Crab, so you also need to have air staff, and by having water runes you will be able to teleport to Falador to bank. The place where you'll be collecting the wine of Zamorak is in the Chaos Temple, which is located north of Falador. Okay, so first of all, from the Falador bank you want to run north and go to the Chaos Temple, which is quite far away. To be honest, you can bring energy potions, but it's not really needed, to be honest, because all your energy will be all back after telegrabbing a full inventory of wines. So once you're inside, you want to use telegrab and use it on the wine of Zamorak to get it in your inventory. You cannot simply pick it, otherwise you will get damaged and you won't pick the wine. So use telegrab, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You do it until your inventory is full, and when it's full you teleport to Falador and you repeat. So yeah, that's pretty much it about this video. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to click the annotation on the screen to check my other money making guides for RuneScape 07, so the PVM methods, the shop methods, and finally the skilling money making method.